fans, and welcome to another edition of the Piledriver Weekly. My name is Electric Eric Davidson, and this is my co-host, Mr. Ace Larson. We got a big show for you this week, and we're going to get right into it here and kick things off with OVW. All right. Normally, I cover the weekly episode of OVW right here, but we're going to skip over it to make room for OVW's Saturday Night Special. One thing noteworthy, though, from the weekly episode, Dylan Bostic became the new television champion by defeating Randy Royal with a slight assist from Randy's former friend Tony Gunn. That's significant, so I wanted to throw that in there.
And keep in mind, we both attended this event.
Yeah, we were there live. Yeah. We saw it with our own eyes live in person. So here we go. First match of the night was Taylor Hendricks with Nikki St. John versus OVW Women's Champion Trina and Heidi Lovelace. Heidi has finally, seen Taylor for what she really is and trying to get a little bit of payback here. I always try to support the OVW folks. And I don't want to badmouth anybody here, but my God.
Sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, none of them are going to put on a 5-star match, but.
This was bad.
Yeah, and Nikki St. John in particular, she's just, terrible. And I hate to say that, I really do, but I have to call it how I see it, and she's bad. She's just very, very, she can't even sell a tag. Her tag looks terrible. That's bad.
Yeah. They
must just kind of be short on girls at the moment, but, throw Jessie Bell in there.
Mm-hmm.
She's far better than any of these girls, really. Taylor's okay.
Not bad.
But, the other three, I've never really seen anything out of that impresses me. And
not a good way to start off the show.
Yeah, really not. But, I guess it's better to open the show with this match than to close the show with this match. But, Nikki needs to go back to school. She needs to go back to wrestling school because she's horrible. If I was the promoter, I wouldn't put her in the ring. That's how bad she is. Anyhow, the winners by pinfall are Trina and Heidi. And then we get Elvis Pridemore versus Tony Gunn.
Yeah.
Not as bad, but not much better. And we're sitting here thinking, oh man, is this going to be like this all night? Because usually Saturday Night Special is really good, and
it gets better though.
Yeah, it does. But Randy Royal comes in and attacks Tony Gunn, so Gunn gets the win by DQ there. Next match, Paradise and Body Guy with Mr. Marvelous Melvin Maximus in their corner. Say that 5 times fast.
No dice.
Versus Lambda Lambda Lambda, the Baxter brothers.
God.
I
don't know whether to laugh or shake my head.
They're wrestling's version of Steve Urkel.
Times 2.
Yeah, but, they're wearing their underwear on the outside of their pants. But
there's no WWE writer still down there.
Who knows? I got the impression that Al Snow does a lot of it, but I could be wrong on that. He could just be more in charge of talent relations. And Paradise can actually wrestle, but he gets thrown in here with some real clunkers. The Body Guy, who they've been building up for a big debut on their weekly show, he still hasn't been seen on TV yet. Just a glorified jobber, and one of the worst oversellers I've ever seen in my life. It
was bad.
Yeah. anyhow, the Baxters get the win here. Then things finally start picking up a little bit. Jay Bradley versus Aaron Sky, and
pretty solid match.
Yeah, pretty solid match. Aaron Sky, a good young talent, still a little green, but I think has a ton of potential.
Mm-hmm.
And Bradley is really starting to grow on me.
He's got a really good look.
Yeah, he's got a good look, and he's got a good gimmick. He he's just this kind of rough, don't give a damn kind of character. Doesn't care who he pisses off, and like I said, he's really starting to grow on me. I didn't like him at all at first, but he really is starting to grow on me. There's something about him. He's got something. Then we get the Oh, sorry, skipped over the result there. Bradley gets the pinfall after hitting the boomstick. Then we get the OVW title match. No, the TV title match, excuse me. Eddie Diamond with his hype man, Timmy Danger, versus the King of Pink, Dylan Bostic. Really pretty good match here.
Yeah.
I thought both these guys put on a good performance.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been impressed with Dylan Bostic since day one, really.
Yeah.
I remember when he debuted, I was like, this kid's got, some real athletic ability, some real talent. And, yeah, just a really good match overall. And Bostic retains. Then we get the Coalition, Joe Coleman, Raul Amada, and Shiloh Jones versus Rudy Switchblade, Rockstar Spud, and Wrestling's Rockstar Ryan Howe.
Match of the night.
Yeah, match of the night for sure. These guys just tore the roof off the place. It was just from start to finish, just a high energy, just great match. Very, very fun.
Mm-hmm.
A few high spots there, and you could tell all six of these guys just really gave it their all. And I talked to Ryan after the match, and I told him, I said, man, that was match of the night. They're going to have a hard time following that, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think it was the best match of the night, really, overall. And
Ryan took a mean shot with a kendo stick
yeah,
right to the head.
Yeah, and there were some mean chair shots in there, too. Looks like the OVW guys are poised to win when out comes Flash Flanagan and nails Spud and Ryan Howe with a kendo stick, allowing Raul to get the pin. And so apparently, I guess Flash is a new member of the Coalition because he was wearing the camouflage shorts and came out and aided them. So looks like the Coalition has a new member in Flash Flanagan there. Then next up we get Lady Tapa versus Epiphany. Much better than the first ladies match.
Yeah.
These two are kind of big bruisers. For females, they're big and strong.
Yeah.
Lady Tapa gets the win here over Epiphany. Looks like they're going to give her a pretty good push. I wouldn't be surprised to see the ladies title on her very soon. Then we get the OVW title match, Jamin Olivenzia defending against Rob Terry. It started out kind of slow because, I think that was deliberate. And Rob Terry still doesn't have the greatest repertoire, but I think he's improved.
Yeah, he did look bad.
Yeah, I really do. I think he's improved.
Olivenzia is on a whole nother level.
Yeah,
all his own.
Jamin's just,
he's a star.
Yeah,
I think,
I think he is too. And just great in the ring, and Jamin retains the title here. But it was a really, really good match. I still think the six-man was a little bit better. Then we get the main event, Muhammad Ali Vaez and Michael Hayes defending the Southern Tag titles against Jason Wayne and Crimson of the Coalition.
Good match here too.
Yeah, it was a really good match. A lot of drama, a lot on the line here for these guys, and Ali and Hayes get the win and retain the belts here. Overall, like I said, the first couple matches were kind of throwaways, slow start, but when it picked up good, and we definitely got our money's worth. Another good Saturday night special by OVW. Don't forget, every Wednesday night they have their TV tapings at the Davis Arena, 4400 Shepherdsville Road. Make it out if you can. If you can't, they're on the Ion Network, WBNA 21, Saturdays at noon, and they replay that episode Wednesdays at 9. And if you don't have the Ion Network, you can catch them online at ovwrestling.com. And now we're going to move on to Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor. All right, Ring of Honor from Baltimore, Maryland. We get a quick look back at Briscoe versus Briscoe at Best in the World. Then we get a nice tag match. A couple newer guys, Alex Reynolds and John Silver. I was just waiting for him to call him Long John Silver, but Reynolds and Silver against CNC Wrestling Factory, Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander. Reynolds and Silver really impressive in their debut here. And ACH and Tadarius Thomas come out and watch from the entrance there. They have kind of a vested interest in this match, I guess. Pretty good match. CNC get the victory, and they will get a title shot next week at Red Dragon. So, but it was funny because Carino kept bitching about, why are these guys getting a title match again? They keep losing and
Good old Carino.
Yeah, but they won there, so that shut him up a little bit, I guess. Then Nigel McGuinness is in the ring, and he says at Best in the World he was reminded why he loves Ring of Honor. Talks about the Briscoes and their injuries, and he says Mark will have to be replaced on Team Ring of Honor at Steel Cage Warfare. He was supposed to be teaming with Elgin, Lethal, and Whitmer, I believe. So he's going to have to be replaced. Then the crowd starts chanting Mr. Wrestling, and out comes Kevin Steen, Mr. Wrestling himself, and he basically just tells Nigel just put me in the damn match, and Nigel says, hey, look, you started Scum, basically, why should I trust you? And Steen says, yeah, I started Scum and I can finish it too. He's like, you want honor, I want revenge, and just put me in the damn match. Then Scum come out to attack Steen, but out come Team Ring of Honor for the save. So didn't really get anything settled there, but we'll see. Then we get a pretty good ladies match here. Veda Scott versus Mischief. And I just found this out recently. You know that Mischief is a microbiologist. Yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she just must love wrestling.
Didn't Wade Barrett have some kind of degree like that too?
He may.
I've heard that. I don't know, something biology, something like that, science, but I've heard that before too.
Yeah, she's a microbiologist, and she moonlights as a wrestler. That's pretty cool. And I also heard, and I don't know if this is a work or if it's real, but I heard that she recently got married to Michael Elgin.
We have to do some investigating.
I mean, yeah, but it seems like if it was a work, they would have had it all over the show. It was almost like it was kind of tried to get quiet. So that makes me think maybe it's legit.
Yeah.
Anyhow, pretty good match here, like I said. Veda puts up a pretty good fight, but Mischief is just too much for her. Then we get Silas Young. Haven't seen Silas in a while. The Bill Cower of Ring of Honor. And he is taking on Adam Page. And Silas gets on the mic and says he's embarrassed that he has to follow some silly women's match. and that he's the last real man in Ring of Honor.
Oh, God.
And these two guys just go at it full throttle. Really, really good match here, man. And Adam Page pulls off the win and what I would have to consider an upset here. But it was one hell of a match. And then after the match, Silas seems like he's going to adhere to the code of honor. He shakes his hand but then attacks him. So he was pretty pissed off about the loss there. Then the main event, the TV title is on the line. Matt Taven defending against Eddie Edwards. Another good match. And I tell you, this Taven kid keeps getting better and better every week, in my opinion. I've seen nothing but improvement out of him in the last 6 months. Because I remember when they first put the TV belt on him, I was kind of like, I'm not sure if he's ready for that, man.
Yeah.
But he's really stepped up, I think, man. And I think he's had a good run, and just another fantastic match here.
Edwards is always great.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a pay-per-view match, really. And but Taven retains after hitting that forward DDT of his. They still haven't given it a name, but that's basically what it is a forward-facing DDT. He had a little help from one of the Hoopla hotties there. She caused a little bit of distraction, but... that is Ring of Honor for this week. And next we are going to move on to Impact.
All right, we got Impact from Las Vegas, Nevada. We start out with more recaps to start out the show. Then we got Austin Aries coming out. He's basically talking about how he outsmarted everyone and how he's creating some controversy by his actions. And he demands that he wants to cash in the X Division title, that's the shot tonight. And Hogan comes out and basically says that he took TNA to a new level last year, but he took him to a new low level this year by his actions. And talks about how he's going to be in a three-way match tonight with Manic. Am I correct with that name? The new Suicide?
Yeah.
Manic. And Chris Sabin in a three-way X Division title match.
Yeah.
But Manic?
I mean, the only thing I can figure is that they must have been getting some complaints about the Suicide name.
Yeah.
Maybe some people were offended by that.
From what we can tell, we were excited about this Austin Aries, this whole deal about him faking to be Suicide, but obviously this has just been a new way to introduce the new name, we think.
Yeah, the whole thing seems kind of silly because, okay, it's already been revealed that Suicide was T.J. Perkins.
Yeah.
So why put him back in a mask and change his name?
Yeah.
We still know it's T.J. Perkins.
Yeah.
That's
where I'm lost on this.
Instead of changing the Suicide character's name, just drop the character. Especially since it's been revealed who was behind the mask.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Manic seems like they could have come up with a better name than that.
And then Hogan claims that Austin Aries is gimmick infringement.
Yeah. Superstar Billy Graham could probably claim the same thing about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. So we got the match coming up tonight, the three-way X Division title match, and then Chris Sabin gets on the mic and once again he's talking about his injury. It's stop it.
Give it a rest, man. Okay, you came back from an injury.
Yeah.
You're the 6 millionth guy to come back from an injury. You've been talking about it since you've been back, which has been months now.
Yeah.
Drop it. Okay, you're back. Great. You fought your way back. That's great. Thumbs up. Now shut up.
Yeah.
It's making me not like you.
Then we got Kaz backstage talking about his match with AJ, and then we have Bad Influence coming out dressed as Siegfried and Roy to the ring.
He's got the little stuffed white tiger.
Oh gosh, they're great, and they keep everything fresh and new. Unlike WWE, which is the same shit over and over and over again. But these guys are really entertaining.
They are, and I don't see how they did the Siegfried and Roy thing and kept a straight face. I really don't.
Because in their minds, they really think they were Siegfried and Roy in that moment. Probably. So we have AJ Styles versus Kazarian. Decent match here. AJ Styles gets the win, which that could have gone either way. Both great wrestlers.
Yeah.
Then we got Mickey backstage looking fine as always. Chavo getting Hernandez fired up. Hernandez has got a big match tonight. Then we have the next segment is Mickey out in the ring, climbing the ladder, talking about all her accomplishments, talking about the big ladder match that Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim are about to have and how they'll never be as good as her, which is kind of just a promo for herself.
Yeah.
Nothing really there. Then we got the gut check judges backstage discussing, who they're going to go with. So they cut O'Reiner.
Yeah, they cut him right
there.
away.
And so the ruling is going to be out later on the show about our friend Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan will face the judges later in the show.
And you don't like Bruce Pritchard too much.
Pritchard's a douche. I mean, he
Brother
really.
love.
I mean, he really is. I mean, and if he's just playing a douche, he's doing a damn good job of it. He's so convincing that it tells me he must be one in real life because he just has this smug like attitude, like he just knows it all, and he's this wrestling god. It's like, man, you were Brother Love. That's the highlight of your career, Brother Love. Brother Love was so annoying that I turned the TV off when he would come on. I mean, and I was a kid. And
That's not the bad kind of heat.
No, I mean,
the good kind of heat.
And I mean, would you have ever been anything in the business if it weren't for your brother? I mean, your brother's a good wrestler, but I mean, just I don't know, something about Bruce Pritchard just makes my skin crawl, man. I just want to punch that guy in the face.
Then we see the main event Mafia making their way into the building, and they talk about how they're going to reveal a new member tonight, which is pretty exciting. Then we got Hernandez and OVW's Jay Bradley. And a pretty good match here. Chavo assists Hernandez for the win, though.
Yeah, small assist from Chavo there. And Hernandez seemed unaware of that. I'm wondering if this is going to start being a common thing and it's going to lead to trouble between these two.
Then we got Aces backstage. Bully is talking about Aries, and then Wes Briscoe joins in and asks about Brooke, and then Bully's like, well, it's our own personal business.
Yeah, well, and you heard one of the guys throw out there something about her getting engaged. She got engaged in real life, and I'm really honest to God, I'm thinking that's why they did that segment and why she wasn't on the show. I'm thinking she's probably in some trouble because she blew an angle. K-Fab might be pretty much dead, but they still try to keep up appearances to a point when it comes to wrestling.
But still
at least TNA does. I mean,
but you never know. You know what I mean?
Seriously. I mean, I think she blew an angle here. I think, like I've been saying all along, she was going to turn and she was going to go with Bully, and it was so obvious that that's how it was going to be up until a week or so ago. And now all of a sudden it seems like they're going to drop that because she went and got engaged in real life and announced it to the world. Kind of stupid on her part. So we'll wait and see if they try to carry through with that. But now I'd say that's probably dead in the water. She's probably done as far as that angle goes.
Yeah. Then we got Storm and Gunner versus Robbie E. and Jesse Goddard with Tara. This is one of my favorite segments of the night. This is a real fun match.
Yeah.
It's a non-title match.
Right.
It's still fun. This is kind of a funny angle, but it's not stupid funny. It's
right.
funny
and
entertaining.
And it's just good old-fashioned pure tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
You You got two guys on one side that look like they go together. Two guys on the other side look like they go together. They're wearing, you know, matching outfits. They come out to the ring together. They don't have separate entrances.
Yeah.
They, you know, they're teams. They're tag teams, man. And that's, you know, really lacking in a lot of wrestling today. And it seems like TNA really still kind of holds a high regard for tag team wrestling and tries to
Keep pushing it.
Yeah, give it a spotlight that it deserves. And I like that part of it. And, you know, Robbie E., Jesse Goddard's, neither one the greatest workers. But, you know, there again, I see improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, man, Goddard's, like him or not, got one hell of a drop kick. I'll give him that, man. He's got a nice drop kick.
Yeah. Storm and Gunner get the win here, which we kind of
with a nice double team move.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to give that a name, too, where, like, he held him up. Gunner holds him up like he's going to pancake slam him, and then Storm comes off the rope, hooks him by the neck, and then like flips him around and does like a stunner kind of move.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I've never seen it before. I thought it was really cool.
Then we got Hardy backstage talking about Joseph Park, and that's one thing on this program tonight that I just didn't really give a shit about.
Yeah.
Then we got Sting and Angle of the Main Event Mafia are out, and they have to put the camera on Louis Anderson's big ass on the front row for whatever reason. Boy, wasn't that a plan if there ever was one. Who gives a shit anyway? At least WWE's people in the crowd are people we know, not Louis Anderson. So Angle's getting on the mic. He's talking about their agenda. Then Sting introduces Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe comes out in his suit, you know, looking like, you know, a Main Event Mafia member. So here we go with the fourth member of the Main Event Mafia, and it is none other than Magnus himself. What did you think about this?
I kind of saw this one coming, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Good fit, though. I think he looked really good.
No, I think he's a perfect fit. I kind of wondered if it wasn't going to be Magnus before they added Joe, to be honest. I thought Magnus might be the third member.
Yeah. And Sting plugged Louisville, Kentucky for next week, July 18th.
Yeah.
Destination X.
Yeah, can't wait, man. Yeah, so apparently they're going to take on 4 members of the Aces and Eights at Louisville.
And we'll be there live.
Yeah. Then we move on to Hardy versus Joseph Park.
Which wasn't bad, but this doesn't interest me too much.
No, I mean, they need to just go ahead and come out with the fact that Park is Abyss. I mean, we all know it. You know, they keep dropping hints because he turned, you know, like in this match, he gets a busted lip and he goes psycho after seeing his own blood, and Blacko slams the ref.
Yeah.
And Hardy's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And then he kind of snaps back into reality and, you know, looks remorseful and everything. But Hardy wins by DQ because of that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm kind of, you know, just go ahead and, you know, reveal that he's got this split personality disorder or whatever, you know. I mean, you've dragged it out long enough.
Then we get our man, Ryan Howe, out in the ring to face the music. And Al Snow says no. Danny Davis says yes. And Bruce Pritchard says no, so he is out.
Yeah, I mean...
Which we know it's a work.
Yeah.
But still.
But, you know, there again, Pritchard had to be all cute about the way he said no. Well, if this was some other contest, you might be moving on to the next round, but this is a gut check. So, it's a no. I mean, get over yourself, dude. I mean, really.
I'll fan you down. We got some frustration we need to let out later. So
this is nothing compared to
what's you're in store for here pretty soon.
I mean,
then we got Aces in the back, and they're just kind of watching. They're going to watch the main event.
Yeah,
best I can remember.
Doc and Anderson still bickering about the whole VP position. Yeah, they're going to come out and watch the main event.
Then we get the X Division title match, and then Manic, this new guy, he gets carted out.
Yeah, and that's really when the match picked up.
Yeah.
From there on, when it was Aries and Sabin one-on-one, fantastic match.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sabin gets the belt back.
Sabin wins with the Hell Sabin off the top rope, regaining the X Division title. and then Saban gets on the mic and tells Bully he may just be looking at the next world champion. So what was the point of all that shit with Aries last week?
TNA, you did it again.
I mean, they do something cool
awesome,
and then destroy it the next week. Now, like I said, the only way it makes sense to me is that the whole thing was just a device to change the Suicide character's name.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing that makes sense. That's the only thing I could come up with.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that whole thing with Aries last week was completely pointless.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah, but anyhow, that's
Impact.
Impact for this week.
Now we go to the fun stuff.
And now, the fun stuff. And we're going to start it off with SmackDown. SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown. And to be honest, I didn't even catch where it was emanating from this week.
Who cares?
Yeah, not that it really matters. We're both pretty fed up with WWE at the moment, so if we seem kind of condescending while we're reviewing the next two shows, we apologize. It's just...
Somebody's going to do it.
It's just the same old garbage over and over and over. For example here, the opening segment, all right? And I like Punk. I'm a Punk fan. And Del Rio's a good wrestler. But this segment goes on for way too long. And I'm sitting here the whole time it's going on. I'm thinking, okay, where's Teddy? Teddy's going to come out and put these two against each other. He's going to make the match. Like that's supposed to be some sort of huge shock.
Yeah.
Oh, well, guess what? The main event tonight is going to be CM Punk against, wait for it, Alberto Del Rio, the two guys that are arguing in the ring right now. That's original. Yeah. We've only done that 10 million times before.
Yeah.
Christ. And that's exactly what happens. The Punk comes out, and then Del Rio comes out. They talk back and forth until Teddy comes out and puts them against each other in the main event tonight. I mean, for the love of God, do something different.
It's too much. It's too much.
I mean, a 5-year-old could see that coming. I mean...
SmackDown needs to be an hour, and Raw needs to go back to 2 hours.
Yeah, Raw needs to go back to 2 hours pronto, because, and there again, how many times, all these WWE marks, talk shit about WCW and how when they went to 3 hours, it sucked and it was just too much, but WWE does it and that's fine.
Yeah.
And it would be fine
if you did it correctly.
If they spent that extra hour putting over new young talent and having more matches, not letting the McMahons talk for 20 minutes, not letting John Cena talk for 20 minutes. That extra hour is just more talk. Yeah. 75% of Raw isn't worth watching. It's just garbage. I mean, you got 75% talk and 25%
substance.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
And even the wrestling matches are so watered down that for the most part, they're not even entertaining.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
We're going to run through SmackDown.
Yeah. Heyman approaches Punk in the back, and tells him he wants to come out with him at Money in the Bank. Somebody needs to watch his back. Punk tells him to stay out of it, basically. Then we get the Usos versus the Scholars. Probably the bright point of the night. Good match. I like both these teams. Mm-hmm. And see, here's an example. I can point out the positive. I don't want to seem like I'm always on the negative. It's just there's more negative. The WWE product has just become crap. And I mean, seriously, if I didn't have to cover it for the show, I wouldn't watch it. And we're seriously considering cutting way back on the time we spend on it maybe just running down the results. I'd like to spend more time covering actual wrestling shows, maybe like New Japan or something.
And if anybody disagrees with us, email us.
Yeah.
Send us your argument.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, send us an email. Tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
And we'd love to discuss it and tell you why we're right. So, anyhow, the Usos and the Scholars, good match. Like I said, I like both these teams. The Usos get the win. They're on a hell of a winning streak.
They're looking good.
Yeah, they really are. And, of course, afterwards, the Shield on the Titantron talking smack. And I got to be honest, I'm sick of the Shield.
It's time for them to go their separate ways. Don't you think? Especially Ambrose.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of over the Shield, to be honest.
They're coming up on a year now. I mean, anymore, almost a year is too much for a stable.
Yeah. Or, you have to freshen things up within the stable, add another member.
Yeah.
When they feuded with the same three people for the whole first year they were here, at least they are putting a different opponent in front of them.
Yeah.
But, things like that, factions don't necessarily have to come to an end. Like, the Horsemen went on for years and years and years. But when you're a faction that's kind of like invading and against the whole company, like the Horsemen, man, the Horsemen were just the bad guys.
Yeah.
They were just a group
anti-establishment.
Yeah, they weren't there to destroy the NWA or WCW. That wasn't their goal. Their goal was just to dominate, hold all the titles, and
get all the women,
watch each other's backs, and have a good time doing it. It wasn't their goal to destroy the company that was signing their paychecks. Anyhow,
it's not the boys' fault,
Right. Then we get a video for the Usos after we just saw the Usos, which didn't really make sense to me. Vicky will be evaluated on Raw next week.
I want to travel to see that live.
Yeah, and it's like, gee, I wonder what that means. We're going to evaluate her performance. That means you're going to fire her.
Yawn.
Yeah. Then we get Alicia Fox versus Caitlyn. Awful.
That's all you have to say.
AJ comes out, causes a distraction. Alicia gets the pin. Then we see a spot for Money in the Bank. Then AJ's trying to hurry and leave the building, I guess because she's scared of Caitlyn. Then we get a look back at Orton versus Kane. Then Renee Young is in the back talking to Orton. Then another spot for the Wyatt family. Then, let's see, Orton versus Christian.
They always have good matches together.
Yeah, not bad. Orton tries a different move for once and totally botches it.
Had to throw that in. Had to.
Well, am I wrong?
Everybody botches moves.
But, like the first time in a year or two, he's tried a new move.
Now,
and he can't pull it off right.
He could have nailed it the last 500 live events. We just never saw it.
That's why he only does 3 moves, because that's all he can do right.
Yeah. Ric Flair had a very extravagant repertoire, too. We won't. Well, we're gonna have that discussion one day, and it'll be 3 hours.
Now, I will give to you. Ric Flair didn't have the most extensive repertoire, and he pretty much wrestled the same match his whole career.
And Austin and The Rock did too. Really.
I've never been a Rock fan. I'll agree with you all day long on The Rock. I think The Rock sucks, really, personally.
Would you say that Randy Orton's better than The Rock in the ring?
Sure, absolutely. But Ric Flair still always somehow managed to make it entertaining. And, Ric Flair would go out there and do a 60-minute Broadway and
night in and night out.
Not even be winded.
Yeah.
And then go party till the sun came up.
Yeah, do it all again the next day.
But yeah, it wasn't a bad match. Orton wins with the RKO. Then Teddy's on the phone. Heyman comes in. Teddy says he wants Heyman on commentary for the Punk match. Then we see an RVD spot. Ziggler comes out and talks about Del Rio, says he'll win Money in the Bank. A lot of guys are going to be winning this Money in the Bank match. Then Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Not half bad. They actually let McIntyre have a little bit of a decent showing.
He had a pulse.
Yeah. Ziggler wins with the zigzag, though, and then toys with all of 3MB after the match. Then a look at Cena and Henry. Then another Money in the Bank spot. And then we get Fandango versus Justin Gabriel.
Which could be a pay-per-view quality match if they treated it like that.
I mean, I guess at least Gabriel got on TV for 2.5 minutes, if it was even that long.
Yeah.
Fandango pretty much squashes him, wins with the leg drop.
It's funny to me that somebody like Justin Gabriel could shit a better wrestling match in his sleep than John Cena could if he had 20 years to come up with it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Then we get Punk versus Del Rio in the main event.
And I caught this, which wasn't bad.
It wasn't a bad match.
It meant nothing, but
it ends in a double count out, no contest, after Punk goes off on Del Rio for hitting Heyman. But come on, as soon as Teddy put Heyman on commentary, you knew something was going to happen there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's SmackDown, and
it gets worse.
We're
on a downward spiral now.
Downward spiral to Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
All right, we got Monday Night Raw from Baltimore, Maryland. And where do we even begin with this? We got Vicky climbing the ladder in the ring, talking about all her accomplishments. And the whole time, we're both like, just fall.
Yeah.
Fall and end it all. Fall. And then Brad Maddox just looking like a complete and total jackass, standing there with that whatever beard he's got. And then King stands up, and he's going back and forth with Vicky, and then she announces tonight's matches, like,
as if we should be excited about those matches.
Which Randy Orton and CM Punk is an exciting match, but it's just like, I don't know. So that's that. That's Vicky's first segment out of 30 tonight. Then we get Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, which was an okay match. It was good.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. When I was watching this match, I thought to myself, instead of let's doing the same guys facing each other over and over and over and over and over again, how about we get some NXT guys? How about we get some guys like Zack Ryder and Justin Gabriel?
Yeah.
They don't get a lot of TV time, and let's have, for several weeks leading up to Money in the Bank, have some Money in the Bank qualifier matches. Anything except the same guys facing each other. It's like Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, good match, but you're going to face each other Sunday in the ladder match. It's like, we've seen this. It's just the same guys over and over and over again facing each other, alternating. And it's just a good match.
Yeah, and Bryan won with that really nice counter out of the cloverleaf into a small package.
Yeah.
They do the handshake after the match. I've noticed more handshakes lately. Like, somebody's been watching a little Ring of Honor, I think. They must be, because they're trying to totally raid their roster.
Then we get Caitlyn and Alicia from SmackDown. Nobody cares.
Why even recap that shit turd of a match? I mean,
then we get this. I guess I'm going to go piss. AJ and Big E are backstage, and Dolph comes up, and then Dolph and AJ are making out, and it's just like, what was that all about?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Then we get another video about Mark Henry's career, which it's just like false hope, because it makes you think that he really is going to win the title.
He's not going to beat Cena.
I'll wear a John Cena shirt the next show if he wins Sunday. Or if he loses, rather. If Cena loses, I'll wear a John Cena shirt. But we both know that's not going to happen, is it?
No, that's not going to happen.
Then we get Tons of Funk versus Rollins and Reigns in a title match. But hey, I mean, at least it's two guys that don't get too much TV time.
Yeah, and they put up a decent fight, really.
Yeah, it wasn't a squash, really. I mean, it went a few minutes.
Yeah, they've been making the Shield, more and more vulnerable over the last few weeks. At least they have done that much with them.
You think they're getting to the verge where they're about to split them up? You think maybe they put the Usos over at Money in the Bank, and then
that would be nice.
That'd be hey. The Usos, they put in their damn dues and time.
Yeah, they've been around a lot longer than the Shield.
Yeah. But the Shield, they put their shit in Well, Seth Rollins.
Tyler Black,
did,
yeah,
from
from Ring of Honor.
But that doesn't even matter to Vince.
Right.
Then John Cena comes out and just rambles. And it's not even like he's trying to get his stupid-ass Superman shit over. It's like he's just on cruise control. Like, I'm just John Cena. You either love me or hate me, but I'm going to do what I want to do. It's like there's no emotion with him. It's just like he's just flatline.
Yeah, a couple lame attempts at insulting Henry. I hit the fast forward button here, and I didn't hit play again until I saw Henry hit Cena.
Yeah, which was a pretty nice World's Strongest Slam. Hitting pretty good.
Yeah, but, I always like to see that. But I'm to the point I can't listen to or even look at John Cena. I just it makes me want to throw up. It really does. I'm at that point that he comes on screen, I hit fast forward.
Yeah.
That's.
So then we have Josh Matthews interviewing Randy Orton. Randy Orton's basically saying once he wins Money in the Bank, he's going to cash it in on Cena, which, I kind of would be all right if Orton won the Money in the Bank and then turned heel and cashed it in on Cena and took it from his bitch ass. But I think Bryan's going to win it Sunday. But, Orton is really the only other logical choice of winning it right now because he has been pretty hot and he's due for a heel turn, but we'll see. Then we get Chris Jericho versus Curtis Axel. Miz on commentary, and Curtis Axel did the perfect plex, which was cool in the match. And actually, not a bad match. A lot of back and forth action, some counters.
Yeah.
Pretty good match by both guys. And Jericho beats Axel clean, here we go again. The Intercontinental Champion, the guy you're trying to push to the moon. Chris Jericho's top 10 best wrestlers all around ever of all time. But you got to make him look strong going into the fucking pay-per-view. You have to. It doesn't matter who it's against. He's got to win.
Yeah, it's like, why put those two against each other?
Yeah.
Put Justin Gabriel in there against Axel.
Yeah.
So you can put Axel over.
Or against Jericho, to put Jericho over for a round back.
Yeah. Get Gabriel a little more TV time. They could have a 10-minute match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Zack Ryder, anybody.
Yeah, just don't even put Axel and Jericho against each other.
Yeah. Good match. Meant absolutely nothing. Then we get Josh Matthews interviewing the Scholars and Swagger and Cesaro and Coulter and then Fandango and Barrett. The whole bunch for the SmackDown match.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank match is showing up. And Fandango swings in and he's getting ready to do his big announcement for his name. They kept saying,
"Don't say it.
Don't do it. Don't do it." And then Wade Barrett just clocks him out of nowhere. One of the highlights of the night.
Yeah,
right there.
that was funny.
Wade Barrett, he can't win a match, but he can sure blindside somebody with a punch, can he? Then we get more Wyatt crap. And at this point, it's like, all right, this better be something monumental or else this is going to be the biggest hoax of all time. Then we get Sin Cara, which, hey, Sin Cara has really improved over the last couple of years, and he's facing Del Rio tonight. But, I mean, I don't know. Ziggler comes in, interrupts the match.
Yeah, and I like Ziggler, but what the hell was he even talking about? I mean, he's just rambling about stupid shit.
Yeah.
Didn't really go over. But here's what kills me. They hold the wrestling action in this show with such high regard that there's, Ziggler comes out and interrupts the match and is talking, and Sin Cara does a crossbody out of the ring onto Del Rio, who had gotten out of the ring to confront Ziggler, and then we just go to the next segment with no bell, no explanation of what the match was called. They didn't even, like I said, the bell didn't ring. They didn't say count out, double
Count out. Yeah.
No contest.
DQ.
The ref threw it. Nothing. That just
that's it.
The match with the ghost ending. I mean,
Yeah.
And that's part of what I'm talking about. It's that they have no respect for wrestling anymore.
Because I think they're an action adventure series.
Right. They're forgetting what they came from. And to me, things like that's an insult.
It's a slap in the face.
Yeah, it's an insult to me and him. It's an insult to the boys in the back. It's an insult to anybody who's ever loved wrestling and supported WWE through the years. It hasn't really been wrestling in a long time, but you made your money off wrestling fans, and now you're flipping them the bird. Is the way I feel about it. But anyhow, now it's time for Vicky's evaluation, and
this is basically has nothing to do with Vicky. This is just more McMahon.
This is just an excuse for
ego
Triple
stroking.
H, Vince, and Steph to get on camera for 20 minutes. And stroke their own egos and look up their own buttholes.
Yeah.
Once again, I fast forwarded here. Because I knew they were just going to babble for 20 minutes just to get to the point that Vicky, you're fired. And that's exactly what they did. And
Vince announces that Brad Maddox is the new GM.
yeah.
Whoop-de-fucking-do. So that into that traumatic experience. Then we have Kane versus Christian. Once again, two guys that are going to be in the match against each other this Sunday. Christian just straight up just jobs out. Oh, what a way to bring him back with flying colors the last few weeks. Just jobbing one guy for the other. It's like, I think, I don't even know if these injuries he's been having are real. He's probably just embarrassed to be on WWE TV. He's probably, I don't want to be back now.
I know the pay is better, but I said all along he made a mistake coming back from TNA. He was the main eventer. Main eventer in TNA. He should have stayed put.
And then the long-awaited debut of the White family, which we've been getting promos of them all night of some camera guy following them all into some old abandoned house out in the middle of nowhere.
I've been on the edge of my seat.
The lights go out, and here they come holding a damn candle and some kind of glass shade. I don't even know what it was. And then,
speaking of shades, wear your sunglasses tonight.
I'm too pissed off to wear them.
I just realized Ace wasn't wearing his trademark shades tonight.
Yeah, because I want
you want him to see the fire in your eyes.
Yeah, these eyes tell no lies from Ace Larson. So now, remind me if I'm incorrect. How many weeks have we been seeing these vignettes for the White family? 5, 6, 7?
I was going to say 6 or maybe even 8.
So they come down to the ring. The two guys that aren't Bray Wyatt, Husky Harris, whatever you want to call him, mug Kane in the ring, hit him with the steel steps while he's laying on his ass, and then Bray Wyatt comes and stands over him, kneels over him, and hovers over him like he's looking up to whatever. You had this long to think of something, and that's the best you could come up with?
Well,
attacking Kane, a guy that's 46 on his way out.
And, you called it a few weeks ago. You said, because I was saying how it wasn't going to amount to shit.
Yeah,
and you said, they'll probably chant Husky Harris when it comes out, and sure
enough. Husky Harris. Well, we both, we try to put memories like that out of our minds, like a traumatic rape or like we were Holocaust survivors. It's just, oh my God. And then, then we get AJ and Alicia versus Caitlyn and Layla. Does anybody really care? I mean, the Bella Twins did look good on commentary during this match.
But I mean, AJ is the only one really. Layla maybe a little bit, but Alicia and Caitlyn are the shits. I mean, they're horrible. I mean, they really are. And of course, 2 former Divas champions.
Yeah.
But that means absolutely nothing. If you're a diva, you get a turn with the belt.
Yeah, because there's only 4 of you.
It's just an accessory, you know. But I mean, seriously, Caitlyn, is horrible. She literally shoulder block, spear. That's what she can do in the ring. Shoulder block, spear, and occasionally a back elbow. That's it. That's all I've ever seen this girl do. I mean, she's got nothing. And Alicia, they're trying to make her look good by having her do that bridge, but there again, that's all she can do. And she's probably practiced it over and over and over. She can't. She's horrible in the ring. Horrible. I mean.
Then we got Josh Matthews. Now he's interviewing Randy Orton's opponent, CM Punk.
And then there again, the match, another match just kind of ended.
Yeah, without an
explanation.
Yeah.
AJ gets speared, and I guess that's it. Okay, all right.
Then we get the big main event, which actually, this, to me, in my opinion, done correctly, even as a heel versus heel type feud. Randy Orton CM Punk's a pay-per-view main event done correctly, because these two guys, they're like the exact opposites. You know what I mean? Punk is a better wrestler. Orton's kind of like the WWE cookie cutout. So it's kind of like two varying styles clashing. And they had a really good match here. A lot of close falls, a lot of good action, and CM Punk beats Randy Orton clean 1, 2, 3 with the go to sleep, which I know you love. he talks about Orton every time.
Orton's jobbed more in the last 2 weeks than he had his whole career before that.
Sure he has. But good match there. Daniel Bryan comes to the ring, attacks CM Punk, and then climbs the ladder to hold and retrieves the briefcase.
Yep.
Yes. It's happening this Sunday at Money in the Bank, which I don't know. It could. But
I think Bryan's got a good chance of winning.
I still think. Don't you think though? It comes down between Orton and Bryan, the two that make sense right now.
Well, I mean, but since when does WWE always do what makes sense? You know.
And then I heard that Kane was injured, so they may have to have a replacement for him, which
he don't need to be in there anyway.
Yeah, after he got destroyed by the Wyatt family. So that's Raw. I threw up in my mouth twice during that show. Maybe Money in the Bank can save us.
I doubt it. But anyhow, next we're going to move on to This Week in Wrestling History.
This week in wrestling history.
All right, This Week in Wrestling History. I'm actually going to let Ace take this one because it was his idea. So, Ace, it's all yours, man.
I thought this was proper for this week. I didn't think there's anything that could top it. This week, July 7th, 1996, Bash at the Beach, WCW pay-per-view. It was the big tag team match with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall versus Randy Savage and Lex Luger, correct?
And Sting.
Sting. I'm sorry.
There was
2 on 3.
Yeah, but they were supposed to have
the
third guy. But they didn't reveal who it was right away. They started out the match 3 on 2.
Yeah. And then out comes Hulk Hogan. We think he's going to save the day, but he does not save the day. He drops the big leg drop on Randy Macho Man Savage, turning heel, thus forming the NWO right there before our eyes in the ring.
Because up until that point, it had just been Hall and Nash, and they were just known as the Outsiders.
And nobody saw this coming at all.
I didn't see it coming really until Hogan started walking down to the ring. Then I kind of knew.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, like I said, I knew what was about to happen anyway. As soon as I saw Hogan, I was like, oh, he's the guy. But Bobby Heenan has taken some flack over the years for kind of giving it away at the last second before Hogan actually got down to the ring. Shivani was like, oh, it's Hogan, and he says, yeah, but whose side is he on?
Yeah.
Probably wasn't supposed to say that and give anybody any kind of indication.
Yeah.
Because, Shivani tried to cover it up and was like, oh, come on now,
real shocking moment, though.
Really probably the biggest heel turn ever.
And this is what really started with WCW kicking WWF's ass.
it was a stroke of genius, really. But the funny thing is that it was originally supposed to be Bret Hart, because his contract was up with WWF at that time, and WCW had made him an offer and really thought he was going to come, and so it was supposed to be Bret, but then Bret decided, kind of at the last second, he was going to stay with Vince because Vince, offered him that 10-year deal, or was it 10 or 20 years? It was
20.
Yeah, 20-year deal,
basically for life.
Yeah, and just to keep him there, and Bret wanted to stay in the WWF because that's where he had become a star, and
we all see how that went.
Yeah, see how that turned out for him. But yeah, it was supposed to be Bret Hart, and then they considered Sting. But
I don't think either one of those would have worked like this.
I think Bret would have worked. I think Sting would have worked. I don't think either one would have been nearly as effective or had the huge impact that Hogan did. Like I said, I think it still would have been a good angle, but I don't think either one of those would have been just that shock that it was when Hogan. And I don't know that really either one of them. I know neither one of them could have pulled off that heel roll like Hogan did. I got to give Hogan credit there.
He is good on the mic.
He was great in that role as that evil Hollywood Hogan.
And when the trash started flying, didn't it?
Oh man, they filled that ring up. And remember, one fan actually tried to get in the ring, and Nash laid him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not only one of the biggest heel turns, probably the biggest heel turn, but one of the most controversial and biggest reactions from a crowd. They just littered the ring with garbage.
They kind of ruined the NWO though. It should have just stayed those three.
Well, I think they could have expanded a little bit.
But it got ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, you and me were part of the NWO.
Yeah. I mean, I could see 6 guys.
Yeah.
But it got too big, a little bit ridiculous. And I think I'm one of the few people who actually did like the whole Wolfpack thing when they split.
Yeah.
And I thought the Wolfpack was cool.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of criticism, but I like it. I was even still watching it when they reformed and did NWO 2000 with Bret Hart as the leader.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that. It didn't last very long, but
all time. Let me ask you this: which is better, DX or NWO?
NWO, no doubt. Without NWO, there wouldn't have been a DX.
Without Pillman, there never would have been a DX.
That's right. A lot of people don't know that, but if you read Chris Jericho's book, it's pretty apparent to me that DX was his idea, and it kind of got stolen from him. But no, without the NWO, there never would have been a DX. DX was the WWF's answer to the NWO, and they weren't an exact copy. They were a little more hip after a while, a little younger,
a little edgy.
Yeah, but I mean, hell, they even had members in common. I mean, like Six was NWO, and then
Sean Waltman.
Yeah, and then he went and became X-Pac. But no, DX just maybe as far as in the long run, but DX didn't have that impact that the NWO did. I mean, when Scott Hall showed up on WCW, it was like, whoa. And then
Kevin Nash,
the next week, or 2 weeks later, whatever it was, Kevin Nash. And then when Hogan turned and joined him, it was just monumental. So no, to me, there's really no comparison. But any more thoughts on the NWO? One of the biggest angles ever. I mean,
it kind of spoiled us. That's why I guess our standards are so high now.
But I mean,
that's the thing with wrestling. Just don't ever lose hope. Maybe something good will happen one day. We thought TNA had it with the Aries thing, but they dropped the ball on that, and WWE, I don't think they even know where they lost their ball years ago. But We haven't found it yet. It's not looking good. But at least Rob Van Dam comes back Sunday, so
Yeah, but
maybe we can all laugh about that next week.
if that's the best thing we got to look forward to, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that is our show for this week. Once again, we have the email address set up. It's tpwshow@gmx.com. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you guys, whatever it may be. You know, topics of discussion, criticisms, suggestions, anything you want to say. Shoot us an email. And
if you think he's a bum.
Yeah, even if you think I'm a bum, a jackass, whatever, say.
We'll
hey,
talk about it.
Yeah. Ace is a geek, man. You know, whatever it may be. You know, feel free to send us an email, and we'll discuss it on the show. But anyhow, we're about out of time. For my partner, Ace Larson, I'm Electric Eric Davidson, and we will see you next time.